All right, I just want to do the quiz in MyEconLab for this chapter 6 because it has some things that we didn't really cover in class. So follow along with me. So the wording may be different for you sometimes, but you have 3 times to do this quiz. Should be able to accomplish it, not too difficultly. So this first question here, the market price for wheat, again, the market price is $5. So again, in a perfectly competitive world, which this is marginal revenue, right? So again, marginal revenue, marginal cost. So if the price or marginal revenue is 5 and the marginal cost is 9, wow, they should produce less, right? For a market, because the marginal cost is a lot more than marginal revenue. Check my answer, loving it. Go next. Firm that is losing money should continue to operate in the short run if the market price or marginal revenue, again, if we can cover our variable costs, right? This is looking at the Excel spreadsheet. Again, will help you understand that one. So I'm going to check my answer just because I like positive feedback, like anyone. Which of the following is not a condition of perfect competition? This is like cover in class, right? Many firms, yes. Firm-specific demand, perfect elastic, yes. There are no barriers to enter, right? But the product is not differentiated. The products are homogeneous, so that is the one that is not. All right, in a perfectly competitive firm, the firm-specific demand curve, again, if I go back over here, notice this is the textbook, right? What page am I on? 143. Here's the market for all the firms together. There's downward sloping demand curve and upward sloping supply curve. But for the individual firms, again, they're price takers. Their marginal revenue is really the price, is also the demand is this perfectly elastic horizontal. So let me go back to my quiz. So of course it is horizontal. For a monopolist, as I did in class the other day too, right? The first specific demand curve, because they are price makers. They decide what price they want if you're a monopolist, right? So that is negatively sloping. They get a choice in their pricing, where a perfectly competitive firm has no choice. They take what the market gives them. So check my answer. Nice work. Moving on. For a break-even price, right? What equals price, right? So again, for break even, this is where my total cost equals the total price. So basically, taking in money, my revenue, and where I'm covering just all my total costs. That's break even point. So here, this is what I didn't cover in class. So economists call this zero economic profit. You're still making money. You're still collecting a paycheck, but you're not making exorbitant profits. You're not making economic profits. You're making zero profits. And again, this is what this is showing here on this graph, right? Because in the long run, this is what happens in a purely competitive market, where my marginal revenue here at point B, again, this is where marginal revenue to marginal cost, but it's also exactly the point where I'm covering my total costs. Right? If the price was above $7 at this point, I'd be making economic profit, because then I would be, again, the price would be above the average total cost. And then more, again, basically because it's a perfectly competitive market, if it went above $7 and there's no barriers to enter, other sellers would get into the market because they would see me making profits, economic profit, and they would come in. And eventually that would bring the price back down. But we'll talk about that in class on Monday. I'll bring a bunch of graphs in on Monday on a piece of paper, and we'll go over it like the test, questions that I'll ask you in the test. So I know it's a little strange at first, these graphs. In a purely competitive market, in a perfectly competitive market, to maximize profit, the price should equal, the marginal cost, right? So again, maximize the price, again, which is marginal revenue, should equal marginal cost. This will come back on the midterm, so just because in a purely competitive market, the price is equal to marginal revenue. And again, we want be equal to marginal cost to maximize our profits. Let's see. In the long run, a firm will operate if total revenue is at least equal to the, again, total cost in the long run. In the short run, again, if you can just cover your variable costs, you'll keep going because you can still make more money, or lose less money than if you close down. But in the long run, again, just watch this long run and short run. But in the long run, my total revenue has to equal my total costs. All right, here's a multiple choice one. And again, the firm has a price or marginal revenue of 7, right? The average total cost is 9. So we're losing money here, right? But the average variable cost is $6. So our price is still over our variable costs, right? So in the short run, right, we would still operate just like the Excel spreadsheet says, because my price is more than my average variable cost, right? In the long run, though, however, right, if this continued, we would exit the market, right? Because again, with a purely competitive market, it's easy to enter and exit the firm. My firm will exit the market because the average total cost, right, exceeds what I'm getting in my price. So you got your short run and long run. Just try and understand the difference between the two. I'm losing my voice. I better hurry up here. Next, graph. I'm loving my graph. So again, here I can just looking at this, you know, it's just like the textbook here, where this is the long run where we're not making 0 economic profit. If I go back to my quiz, this is the exact same thing. So the above graph in the long run equilibrium, again, because the quantity demanded, again, this is semantic things because I'm looking at a point on, I'm not shifting any of these demand or supply curves. I'm looking at this one point, and the quantity supplied, I want to ask a question on that on the midterm, I don't think. I wouldn't get into the semantics. The typical firm maximizes its profit, right, by picking the quantity where, of course, and again, here's MR equals MC, because if you look up here, MR equals price, right? So where MR, or price, equals the marginal cost, right? Each firm is making 0 economic profit because, again, right here, well, my MR equals MC is also, I'm just covering my total cost, equaling my total cost, because the price equals, again, my average costs. Check my answer. That's nice work. I think this is my last one. Is this my last one? Yeah, this is number 10, I believe. So again, here, take a look at my graph here. And usually look at where MR equals MC. So again, here's my marginal cost. Point A right here on this one is the profit maximization point. And I could tell we're not making money because we're below the average total cost, but we're above the average variable cost at point A here. So I would keep running in the short run here on this one, but let's read the question here. Referring to the figure to the right, suppose the market price of shirts drops to $3. So here's the market price is 4. If it goes to $3, ooh, that's way down there. Right? At this price, the marginal principal will be satisfied at point D, right, where marginal revenue equals marginal cost. And again, if you reload, I'll reload this question because you might get different ones. The price of $3 is, what is $3? It's below is equal to my average variable costs. So the firm be better basically shutting down, right, at an operating loss, right? Let me reload this question because you might get different ones. Here, let's take a look. This one's 4. So this one's looking at the figure to the right. Suppose the market price of shirts drops to $2. Notice $2 is not even on here. It's below point D, where, again, where marginal revenue would equal marginal cost, right? This would be somewhere along here. So at this price, the marginal principal will be satisfied, again, below point D. Again, this is where, again, if I drag this marginal revenue line way down here, D is where it's at $3, so it's down here. So this is a bad situation. So if the price of $2 is less than the average variable cost, so the firm is better, shutting down on this one. Let me check my answer. Oh, great. Should I reload it again? What are the other choices we got here? This is looking at the $3 one. Didn't I just do that one? $2, $3, $3.25 is another one here. What's $3.25? That's point C here, right? If the marginal revenue goes down to this one, at this point, the marginal principal will be satisfied at point C, right? Because if it goes to $3.25, right, my marginal revenue, that's my marginal cost would intersect at point C. So at 3.25, it's greater than the average variable cost. So the firm would be better to, operating at a loss. Right? So that's a little tricky one. Try to follow along. I'm really listening to my voice now. So again, if you notice, all these things are due on Monday night instead of Sunday. I'm taking someone's advice and moving all the due dates to Monday at midnight. So any questions, shoot me an email.